My daughter Audrey is 7 years old, and just a few months ago, she still didn't know how to ride a bike. All her friends can ride bikes. Some of them have been riding bikes for years. So she was embarrassed, and I know that she felt really bad about it. So my wife and I decided we're gonna get her to ride a bike. So this one day, my wife is downstairs trying to help her learn. And when they come back upstairs, I can tell from the look on Audrey's face that it didn't go well. But I ask anyway. So how'd it go? Horrible. Horrible? Why horrible? Mom's a bad teacher. She's the worst. Can you come with me next time? Now, when I hear Audrey say this, I get out the imaginary score sheet that I keep in my mind to keep track of who's the better parent, and I put a point in the dad column. Now, I know parenting isn't really a competition, but I'm totally winning. After that, I tell her, hey, Audrey, we don't talk like that. Okay, that's not nice. Your mom is trying to help you. The next day, I take Audrey downstairs to our condo driveway and I try to help her learn how to ride a bike. I grab onto the back of her seat and I hold her steady and then I tell her, go. She pushes down on the pedal and gets going. I run along next to her to keep her from falling down and I encourage her the whole way. You're doing great, Audrey. I'm not even helping at all. Though maybe I am a little bit or a whole lot. Sometimes I even have to grab her by the arms and lift her up into the air as her bike goes crashing to the ground. And after that, I'm like, that was awesome. You're doing so good, Audrey. You're really getting better. I hold up my hands. She gives me a high five. She's smiling, laughing. I am so good at this. I need to give myself another point in the dad column. Now, I know our driveway is not really a good place to learn to ride a bike. There's a lot of cars. It's too curvy. So one day, my wife and I take Audrey down to the park connector where it's straight and it's flat. And I know that she's really going to get the hang of it. So she's a little bit rusty and she has a couple of close calls, but I'm running along next to her to keep her from falling. Then on this one run, she accidentally shifts her bike into the highest gear and then she starts flying. Like I'm running as fast as I can to keep up with her, but she's going too fast. I just can't keep up with her. All I can do is just watch her go. And as she's getting further and further away from me, I think, oh no, what have I done? This is how kids discover their freedom. Like, sure, she's just biking by herself now, but then she'll be out going on dates with boys, and then she's away at college and she never calls home anymore. I want to take a point out of the dad column and give it to my wife. I feel like she knew what was coming and she was trying to just slow it down. I see that Audrey's getting close to some people that are walking towards her. She's about to hit them, so she takes her right hand off the handlebar and she reaches out for the fence to catch herself. But she's going way too fast. She just goes crashing to the ground. This is my fault. I gave her this false sense of confidence. I didn't teach her how to stop. I set her up to fail. I need to take another point out of the dad column. When I run up to her, she's lying on the ground crying. I lift her up from this pile of tangled girl and bicycle, and I sit down with her in the ground and I hold her in my arms and I tell her, Audrey, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And as we're sitting there, my wife sees the crash and comes running up to us. And at this point, I'm ready to just walk her home, or shoot, I'm ready to pick her up and just carry her all the way home. But my wife kneels down and she starts to tell this story about how she learned to ride a bike when she was a kid. And she didn't have anybody to help her. So she kept falling over and over again. And her knees and her arms were all bleeding, but she would get back up on her bike and try over and over again until she got it. She didn't quit just because she fell a few times. So after hearing this story, I tell Audrey, come on, let's ride back. You can do it. Audrey gets up, gets on her bike, and she says to me, Dad, can you help me? So I go over and I put the bike back in the low gear. I hold the seat to keep it steady and I say, okay, Audrey, anytime you're ready. She pushes down on the pedal. I let go. She only bikes for about 10 feet and then she squeezes on the brakes, comes to a stop, puts out her foot to catch herself. And then she turns back and smiles at me. I run up, I give her a high five. I'm like, you did it, Audrey. I didn't help you at all. Now I know it's not a competition, but for this last part, My wife and I each get a point, and I realize I'm down by 2.